Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Dr. Raj K. Anand on the line, and Dr. Anand is an author. He's an inventor, and he's also a retired cardiologist specialist with over 60 years experience in the medical field. Raj, I just want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Raj. So I'm excited to definitely talk about your latest book, which is Healthy Diet and Mindfulness to Prevent Coronary Heart Disease. So a big deal, and really a big topic for our population and just people in general, as we're all aging and understanding how to make that connection to keep a healthy heart. So I'm excited to get into this topic with you. So first off, Raj, maybe just to get us kicked off, if you can maybe give us a little bit of the inspiration behind your latest book, like why write this next book?
Right. All other books that have been brought to my notice on this subject, they mention about the diet, what is healthy diet, and they usually give generalized information that you should eat fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and all that. But nobody talks in specific terms. Like if you go to buy bread, then there are several whole grain breads. Which one is the best for you? How to choose that? And if suppose there are 2 or 3 of them, then how to choose the best for you among them? Then they talk about vegetables, but nobody mentions that, for example, tomatoes, which are so healthy and everybody puts it in the salad, that they should always take out the seeds, never eat raw tomatoes without the seeds, and why. Nobody mentions that nuts are good for you, but which are the best nuts and why. Same way, if you are drinking tea, for example, nobody tells you that you should never squeeze the tea bag and why. So this specificity, I am very particular about it, and my book is written to explain all this in details with charts. For example, if a person has diabetes, there is a chart exactly what fruits they should eat. And for everybody, actually, what fruits they should eat, what time of the day they should eat, how is it related to the timing with exercise or meals, what fruits not to mix with salad. So that is one reason which motivated me. And the second reason is that there is no book that talks about healthy diet includes the effects of the stress on our health and body, and how to eat healthy food and avoid, minimize the effects of stress on your body and mind, which are very destructive effects. So I thought that these both should be included, and to the best of my knowledge, this is the only book which includes these two. And third source is, of course, my wife, who has always been very inspirational to me. She wanted this book for me to write, and she unfortunately died 2 years ago, and I wanted to fulfill her wish. So these are my motivations.
Wow. And actually, while we're sorry to hear about that. And as we're talking about that, I know that there's a special thing that you do with the proceeds of the book. If you can tell me maybe a little bit more about that.
Yes. I have instructed Amazon.com, and arrangements have been made that the proceeds from all the book sales will go directly to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in the loving memory of my wife, Nirmal Kanta Anand.
Yeah, amazing. Let's go further into the book itself. So, like the content. So, is this book something? Because obviously, I mean, you're an expert in your field. I mean, doctor and in the medical profession, 60 plus years. But for myself, like I'm not going to claim I'm the smartest when it comes to health, and some things I try. But is this something that like any reader can pick up and digest? Like, tell me a little bit more about kind of the writing style and the feel that you went for.
Yes. This book enables the readers to make healthy choice of foods when they are traveling or sitting eating at a restaurant or shopping food at the supermarket, as to what they should eat and what they should avoid and why. Then, of course, this also tells them how to reduce the effects of the stress through a few minutes of daily mindfulness meditation, which has been scientifically proven now, beyond any doubt, I can say, that it is very effective. And what it does is it minimizes the effects of the stress by rewiring the brain, which in all of us is negatively wired, and this changes to positive thinking. And that is a very important thing also, because just the healthy food alone does not do the job. It is healthy lifestyle that one has to cultivate, and then stick with the healthy life diet. And their mental mindset is very important. And this book will help them. Just a few minutes of meditation every day with the technique that I have mentioned will go a long ways to develop overall healthy lifestyle, including the food.
No, that's great. And can you speak a little bit more about the idea of a healthy diet, and can you talk a little bit more about how stress really impacts health, and specifically related to coronary heart disease? Can you give us a little bit more on that?
Sure. These several eventually deadly diseases like heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, loss of memory, dementia, cancer, the gastrointestinal problems like leaky gut, diabetes, and arthritis. It is now well established that the cause of all these diseases, the basic root cause, is a low-grade chronic inflammation all over the body in all the cells. And if we can minimize that and hopefully avoid that, then all these diseases can be brought under reasonable control. And to reduce that inflammation, one should have a healthy lifestyle. And for the healthy lifestyle, you have to observe 6 things. One is healthy diet itself, regular exercise, reduce the stress in your life, adequate sleep, and socialize in person, not through social media.
Yeah.
And lastly, annual physical checkup. So all this is mentioned in this book, and my main mission is to eventually, one day, if we cannot get rid of this chronic low-grade inflammation, at least we can reduce it to significant degree that these diseases would be beneficially affected from our point of view. The incidence will come down significantly. and will save a lot of lives.
Can you tell me a little bit more about maybe some of the I always like to think about things that are actionable, right? Things that anybody listening to this show can start doing today, maybe to get, to think about being more healthier, things like that. Can you tell maybe some of the small, just the tiny behaviors that everyone should know that are really crucial for that, trying to have a healthy long-term life and, and aging well just in general?
Right. Okay, let's start with diet. The healthy foods, which are fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and other things that one should observe is if you are a non-vegetarian, when you buy meat, make sure it is lean meat and eat only in smaller portions, not big steaks. And if possible, and it is available in supermarkets, make sure that the animals are pasture fed on the grass rather than fed on the farms with soybean and cornmeal, because they are the ones which are responsible for the inflammation. Same way, if you eat eggs, then the best is to buy the eggs where the chickens are again fed on the grass and not the meal. The chickens that are not caged and they are always in the open, buy those eggs, and it says on the cartons of the eggs that they are pasture-fed, non-caged, no GMOs. They are the best egg. There is a myth going around that white eggs are better than brown or brown eggs are better than white, but there is no truth to it. If you cannot find those eggs, and I would be surprised if you can't, then the next choice is omega-3 eggs, because they have omega-3 fatty acids which are very beneficial to the body, and it prevents inflammation. And then if you are going to buy, say, milk, then prefer low-fat milk, like 2% or 1%, whichever you like to your taste. But if possible, get A2 milk. It will say right on the carton A2. And the reason is A1 milk, which all supermarkets have, is inflammatory. It has protein in it called casein B. And casein B is of two types, A1 and A2. And all these milk products are made with A1. And the reason, again, is that the cows these days are fed on soybean meal and cornmeal. More than 100 years ago, they used to be fed on pastures, and some of those cows, their generations subsequent, they are there, and the milk that comes from those cows, it is A2 milk. And if you go to the supermarket, some of them have A2 milk, like Stop and Shop has it, I know. And if you buy that milk, that is not inflammatory, and if you drink whole milk, that is the one to be preferred. Unfortunately, because the demand is more, supply is limited, they have not yet come out with low-fat or non-fat A2 milk. So that is why there are some constraints when you buy milk. You have to buy whatever is available. And in that particular situation, buy low-fat or non-fat. And secondly, with this milk, you use it only what is necessary. Every food you should use in moderation. Then in the supermarkets, in your diet, there must be probiotics. And probiotics you get from yogurt. Now you buy yogurt and they all have a lot of sugar in it. Which one to buy? Buy the one which says non-fat Greek yogurt and plain. If you don't like plain, then buy non-fat Greek fruit yogurt. And among the non-fat Greek fruit yogurts, the best is where instead of putting some fruit and some sugar in it, some companies like Chobani, for example, they get their sugar from sugar cane and make a jam with it, and they put jam underneath and then yogurt, Greek yogurt, a non-fat on it. So if you like the taste of the non-fat, you can just eat the yogurt and leave the jam at the bottom. But if you do not like the plain form, then you mix that jam at the bottom and eat it, because that sugar comes from natural source. It is not a table sugar called sucrose, which is very detrimental and inflammatory. Brain loves sugar and brain loves fat, but one should always remember that if you are going to have sugar, get it from fruits or as I mentioned, the source should be from different fruits. I am not saying don't eat sugar at all, because people like dessert every now and then, but eat in moderation and try to avoid as much as you can. So minimize that use. Everybody has dessert at the dinner time, and at that time they indulge in desserts. Instead, develop a habit of having chocolates. And everybody loves chocolate. Nobody can tell me they don't.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can't tell me I don't. I love it.
Right. Half an ounce to 1 ounce of chocolate after dinner will satisfy you, will make you calm and happy, and it has a lot of antioxidants. So that is a good one. But remember, if you go and buy chocolates, then buy chocolates which has cacao content of 75% or more, or 70% at least. Never buy a chocolate which has cacao content of less than 60%. It should be a dark chocolate with cacao content of 70-75% or more. You can get dark milk chocolate, but their cacao content is 35% or less, and there's a lot of sugar. If you buy plain milk chocolate, their cacao content is 25% or less, and a lot of sugar. So the chocolate to be eaten is only dark chocolate with cacao content of 75% or above preferably. And if you say, gee, I want more sugar, then come down to 70%, but never less than 60%. Never, never, never buy white chocolate, because what they do is they take cacao beans and they crush those beans, and liquid comes out, which is cocoa butter, which is pure fat, and the cacao, which is healthy, remains in the paste. the liquid that comes out, cocoa butter, they take that, they put milk, cream, sugar, vanilla, and nuts in it and make white chocolate. So there is really no cacao in it. It is just a candy, and it is unhealthy. So those are the things which I have mentioned in detail in the book. And then also, if you are a non-vegetarian, no problem. Just make sure that you trim off the fat and eat small, lean portions. If you are a vegetarian, strict vegetarian, make sure to take one multivitamin with minerals every day, because vitamin B12 comes only from meat or fish. And if you don't eat them, then you are going to be deficient in vitamin B12, which is not good. And if you are a flexitarian who eats vegetarian food and once or twice a week meat also, then you don't have to worry about multivitamin. Then antioxidants are very important because of the air pollution and the wrong diet that we eat. We develop a lot of oxidants at the end of metabolism in the body when all this food is digested, and they oxidize the final product, and that creates omega-6 fatty acids in the body, which are inflammatory. And thus antioxidants are very important. And the best source of antioxidants is your nuts, especially walnuts. The second choice can be pistachios, but walnuts have a lot more antioxidants than pistachio, and they are very potent. All other nuts have saturated fat, which is unhealthy. And then other sources of antioxidants are seeds, and there you eat only chia seeds, because all other seeds are rich in omega-6 fatty acids, and flax seeds, which are good and rich in omega-3, as rich as chia seeds, they have to be bought in the ground form, otherwise you don't digest it and they just go out in the morning. If you buy those ground, after 2 weeks, all the effect is gone, even if you refrigerate them. Plus, loose bowel movements develop very quickly. So the seeds should be chia seeds and start with no more than half a teaspoon a day, even though the labels say that 2 tablespoons a day, but please don't. Otherwise, you will develop loose bowel movement and you will never try again. Start with half teaspoon. Yes. Soak them in the water at night, little warm water. In the morning, they soften up. You can eat them just like that. They are very tasty. I do them every day. Or you can mix it with V8 juice or any vegetable juice that you like. Then the next source of antioxidants would be fish and avocado. And then other sources are vegetables. Eat all kinds of vegetables, all colors, but just remember when you eat tomatoes, to remove the seeds, never have raw tomatoes with the seeds, because they can create leaky gut and you will be miserable. Some of the people are really miserable. And then other foods which have what is called as toxic lectins, which are present in tomato seeds and lead to leaky gut, are bell pepper. So remove the seeds and then you can eat bell pepper. But if you cook them, then it's all right. Tomatoes or bell peppers, if you cook, lectins die. Same way, never eat raw green pepper or red pepper. The green, fresh peas, you should never eat raw, always cooked. And white potatoes. So these are the few details everybody should know, and you will enjoy the food more and avoid bad effects. Other sources of antioxidants are fruits. And among the fruits, you have to know that all fruits are not created equal. And first of all, the dried foods you should stay away from because they are nothing but concentrated sugar. And the rest of the foods, the basic rule is the sweeter the fruit, eat lesser of it and less often. Eat lot of berries like strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, cherries. Eat as much as you want, but again, too much of anything is not good. And remember, if you eat blackberries, never eat them more than 10 at a time and not more than 2 times a day because they are gas producing. And that should be kept in mind. So then antioxidants are also present in coffee, and Americans get most of their antioxidants from the coffee. Tea is another good source of antioxidants. Wine is a good source of antioxidants, but again in moderation. And chocolates, I have already mentioned, are loaded with antioxidants. And then it is a good idea with all these stress that you stay in good mood. And that means that there's a hormone called serotonin. And if the levels of serotonin hormone stay up in the blood, you will be in good mood most of the time at least. And those 5 foods are eggs and walnuts, again chocolates, and in the morning you have fruit. So these are the items which are rich in antioxidants. They create the serotonin hormone, and your serotonin hormone will stay up.
Well, Raj, I have to tell you that you taught in a very short amount of time. You taught a nice master class on health and nutrition, and I was taking notes. I hope my audience was as well, and I also hope that people go and pick up your book. So, meaning I want them to definitely pick up a copy because I know that we just barely scratched the surface on all the information that's in the book, but you did do a wonderful job giving a brief overview. So I know I was able to find your site pretty easily. So rajkanand.com, I'm looking at it right now, and I see there's a nice button there. It's pretty big to pick up a copy of your book and also to follow your other interviews that you've done. And things like that. So I definitely want my audience to go check that out and to be a part of the book and learning and to benefit from it as well. So I have to ask. I see your site. I see you're a busy guy. So what's next? What's next for you? What's next for the book promotion?
The next is that they can go on my website. rajk1word.com. and they can order from there directly to Amazon, and they can contact me through my email address, which is on the website. It is rajkanand@icloud.com, and I will encourage the readers of the book to feel free to contact me anytime if they have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Fantastic. Well, Raj, again, been great having you on the show today. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge and expertise and your new book, so Healthy Diet and Mindfulness to Prevent Coronary Heart Disease. Definitely want my audience to go pick that up. Again, rajkanand.com is where you can go. You can check out the book and all of Raj's other work, and we'll have that link also in the show notes for you. And if you're listening for the first time, we bring on this show. We bring on mission-based business owners, entrepreneurs, and experts, and have them share their mission and why they do what they do. We definitely love you to be a subscriber and to benefit from many of the more guests we have coming on up for you. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And Raj, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your story on Mission Matters.
My pleasure, and thank you for inviting me to the show.